All right, and now, with keeping your shoulders off, start to make big circles with both of your arms. Try to make sure you keep your shoulders off the ground the whole time. And you can try like a swimming motion with each arm going in a different direction. And when you're ready, just reach up and sit up. All right. So now just sitting comfortably, just roll your shoulders back and down. And just start to play with your shoulders a little bit here. Just pay attention to any parts of the range of motion that are choppier than the rest. So now we're going to try and move our shoulders in some ways that are probably a bit odd, but it's fun to explore. So try now to stretch your shoulders this way, like basically to your right and your left. So you don't want to roll them at all. You just want to try to pull them to the side. And now you can try very small kind of circles on one side, but try not to try to keep your shoulder as low as you can while still doing circles. So they're going to be very small. You can try in both directions. On both sides. And I don't know about you guys, but I find these more micro ranges of motion to be more difficult than bigger ones. All right, and you can just move your shoulders freely and just shake them off a bit. And roll out your neck if you like. All right, I'm going to sit cross-legged. It's more comfortable for me. So now we're going to try some of the same kind of movements with the head. So I want you just to try to shift your head side to side without tilting it at all, just side to side. And make sure you're breathing the whole time. All right, so now I want you to imagine that you're drawing a circle on the ceiling above you. So your head stays in exactly the same position, like your chin doesn't go up or down at all, and your head doesn't tilt side to side. But try to shift it now in a circle to the side, forward, to the side, and back. You can try both directions. All right, and now we're going to try, instead of going in a circle, like a circle in front of us and back towards us, we're going to try and go in a circle that is basically like a circle right above us, right? So you're trying to bring your head out to the side, reach it up, bring it over, and bring it back down, but without it actually going forward. All right, whenever you're ready, you can just kind of move your neck and your shoulders however you like. All right, so we'll lie back down now. So now I want you to stretch with your arms and your legs, but bring them both off the ground. So we're just gonna stretch. Actually, you can bring them in. So bring your knees in and then stretch, come up a little bit with your upper body and bring them back in. And you can try this in different directions. And you can do opposite limbs as well, which gets pretty strange. All right, I know, at least for me, it's pretty tiring. So let's move on to the next thing. So we're gonna roll over onto our hands and knees, kind of tabletop position. And I want you to start just by rolling your elbows out to the front. So you can roll them towards the back, probably just slightly towards the back, and then roll them out to the front. So keep your arms completely straight here. And just keep rolling your elbows forward and back as far as they go. And just keep your arms straight. All right, now fingers pointing back towards your body. Just slowly rock your weight back and forth. All right, now hands, I guess, in the opposite way. So the top of your hand is against the ground now. Your fingers are still pointing towards you. And same thing, just rock back and forth. All right, and from here, we're just going to explore a little bit. So keep the tops of your hands flat to the ground as much as you can, and start to try to bring one elbow down, come back up, and try to bring the other one down. And just play with it. You're probably going to have to rotate your hands in order to get some movement here, but just see like where you can reach with your elbows. All right, and back onto your palms. And just start to lift the heel of your palms up a bit, just to stretch the fingers. All right. I'm going to put down a mat here for myself. If you're on a hard surface, you might want to do the same. It's up to you. All right. So we're just going to lie down on our sides here. And you can have your feet together or just staggered a little bit apart. And I want you just to lift your hips up off the ground so that your weight is on your shoulder and your feet. Try to keep your body straight and level. So don't be tilted forward or tilted back. And see if you can pick up your forearm and your arm and move them around freely. So your hips are not on the ground here. Your hips are up. And from here, we can start to do some shoulder rolls with the shoulder that's on the bottom. You can do between 5 and 10, and then switch sides. All right, and when you're done, just lie flat on your back. Just pinch your shoulder blades a bit together so that your shoulders lie kind of flatter on the ground. And we're just gonna squeeze our shoulder blades together, open up our chest, and release. And keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and try this 10 times. When you're done, just bend your legs and have your feet close to your bum. And bring your elbows close to the sides of your body. And we're gonna push into our elbows as we squeeze our shoulder blades together and open up our chest. And we can try it just like this for 5 to 10 reps. And if this is too easy, as you push, you can lift your hips up a little bit as well. But the emphasis is on squeezing the shoulder blades together. And if you want more of a challenge, pick your head up off the ground as you're doing this. And after 5 reps, just lie flat. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. All right. So I think we can do a little bit of rolls if you guys have space. I'm going to unmute you guys for a second just so I can hear everybody.
Yeah, we did too.
How's it going, everybody?
It's okay.
Oh, not really.
Somebody's got the family on the background, which is perfectly fine.
Sweetie, you gotta mute it.
That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to mute you guys again.
How did it get unmuted?
He unmuted us.
And okay, so let's do a little bit of rolls now. So we're going to work, I guess, maybe a little more specifically with these. So, okay, so the first thing, right? First thing we're going to do is when we do our front roll, we are going to, I'm just going to get rid of the mat. We are going to basically switch shoulders. Okay, I'll just, I'm a little bit tired today, so my brain's kind of dead, so bear with me. So, okay, so I'm on my hands and my knees. My shoulder makes contact with the ground. As I'm pushing over, I'm gonna switch to my other shoulder and roll over the other side. So just give that a try first. You can try it on both sides. And if it's super easy, try to slow it down as much as you can and have every part of the movement the same speed, which is very, very difficult. Okay, and once you've had a few goes with that, now try the same thing, but you roll forward and then you roll back. But as you roll back, I'm rolling over one side of my body. As I get to my shoulders, I switch to my other shoulder as I go over. So try that, back and forth, both sides. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you guys again, and I don't know who has the baby in the background, but maybe I'll just keep you muted, or you can mute yourself again so that everybody can hear and have a chance to speak a little bit. So I'm gonna unmute you now. So who has the baby? All right. Okay, we seem to be good.
It was us. Sorry.
Sorry,
Jessica,
Sean.
okay, no, it's okay, no worries. I can mute you guys. It's okay.
Sorry, buddy.
No worries, no worries, no worries. Okay. So how did you guys find that? I just want a little bit of feedback. Is it super easy for you?
No, the space was a challenge.
Okay.
So
Steve?
Trying to keep the speed consistent is very tricky because there's a point where your body weight takes over and gravity sort of pulls you along. So
Yeah, it's true. You have to kind of find a way to use your legs as a counterbalance and control the descent. But it's pretty tough. It's not something that I have mastered. It's just something I'm working on. Anybody else? I can't hear you, Ralph. You seem to be okay. All right. Okay, so let's try something a little bit more challenging now, maybe. Let's see. It'll require less space though. So I'm going to mute you guys. All right, so now we're going to kind of just play in this position here where we're kind of just starting to come over our shoulder. And I want you guys to play actually just switching from side to side. But the real kind of key here is to find a way to hold your body so that your head is not in a lot of, doesn't have a lot of pressure on it. So try to find a way to do that, but keep your head a little bit up off the ground. Okay, next one. So now, just from sitting, I want you guys to start to roll back, but catch yourself. So only make contact with the ground with one foot. So I'm rolling, catching myself, and then I'm pushing myself back over. And again, if you want to make this infinitely harder, all you have to do is slow it down. And try to make sure that when you're doing this, that your head is, again, doesn't have a lot of pressure or weight in it, right? So if it does make contact with the ground, just make sure that it's very, very light contact. And also try to make sure that when you're coming back over, so I've rolled back, I've caught myself on my way back, I need to switch over to my other shoulder as I roll. Okay, so now another dimension. If you, it doesn't really matter how much space you have because you'll be able to, to make it your own regardless. But now you're gonna roll back, you're gonna catch yourself, and when you roll back over, I want you to change directions. So instead of rolling straight back, roll off to the side. All right? Go for it. And you can try this in two ways. You can try this switching shoulders, right? And rolling in that direction. Or you can try it rolling along the same shoulder that's in contact with the ground in the other direction. So make sure to try it both ways. So if I'm here, right, I can roll on this shoulder this way. Same shoulder, this way, or I can switch shoulders and roll the other way. The point is just to develop more control of your direction when you're rolling. And you can have a lot of fun with this actually when you start to get creative with it. Okay, guys, I'm going to unmute you all again, except for Julie and company, even though I love you all. Okay, so how was that, guys?
It's good. It was hard.
Is it okay? What kind of limitations did you notice?
Probably when we're doing it slow,
Hmm.
especially if you're rolling backwards, you don't get a momentum going, so you have to really concentrate on the muscle when you're reaching over your head.
Hmm.
And that was pretty challenging. When there's no momentum, you have to roll back.
Yeah, that's true. Anybody else?
Trying to pivot on the shoulder.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you know, there's a few reasons. Can you guys hear me? I seem to be okay. My video's frozen for me, but yeah, it seems like I can still see you guys and hear you. So, one of the reasons why I love to do this work is because, well, one of the reasons is that it's a great massage just rolling around on the ground like this. And by changing direction and rolling over your shoulders, you're kind of really massaging out all the different areas. But it also gives you a chance to really look closely at how you can control your body in movement. And I just find it fascinating because I guess it gives me an opportunity to realize how bad I actually am at it, right? You know, relatively speaking, like there's such a greater level of control that I could have with my roles. So I like doing work like this on my own, just to kind of open up my awareness and start to fine tune things a little bit. So yeah, that's one of the reasons for sharing the work. I'm just going to restart my video and see if it makes a difference. Okay, seems like the phone connection has gone dead, so I'll just switch back to the PC. Does is this camera quality worse than the other one, or is it the same to you guys? No, it's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Okay, so the whole fancy phone setup seems to be pointless. But okay, so all right, we just have about 10 minutes left. So let us actually, yeah, we're gonna change up the direction of things a little bit now. So instead of all this kind of hunching over and rolling, we're going to open up the front of the body a little bit more. So just have a seat like this, hands on the ground. Lift your butt up. And just start to play with controlling your weight now. So you can lift up, you can shift your hips around, you can come onto one arm. You can walk your hands back. You can kind of make circles. I'm just going to mute everybody, but I'm going to walk over like this. You can do the same. All right, so now we're going to start to pivot over one of our arms. So you can just chill out here for a minute and get kind of comfortable. Play a little bit with pivoting, but keep the weight loaded in this hand. You'll see it's actually quite difficult. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, lift up one of your legs as you start to pivot. Make sure to try both sides. And start to make it kind of smooth and comfortable, right? So start to explore from this pivot position. You can reach your legs around. You can turn over into like a, I don't know, bear kind of position. This one is actually quite interesting. You guys could have a look at this. So you can start to reach one of your legs forward. You can try it on one hand if it's a little bit too easy. You can do this in all different directions. And keep your breathing going in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, and when you're ready, you can come back to the position we started in. And now just start to roll over your feet onto your toes. Bring your knees down a little bit so you get a nice stretch in your quads. You can slowly start to walk your Fingertips up. You guys hear me? Okay. So you're in a squat position on your toes. And from here, slowly, you don't have to do the balance part if you don't want, but slowly start to drop your knees toward the ground and come back up. So if it's too much of a challenge, you can also you can do one side at a time. All right, and then you can find your way into, I guess it's like a half squat position with one leg bent under you. So I've been doing a lot of yard work lately, which has required me to be in this kind of position with one leg bent under. It seems to be like a comfortable way to reach the ground. But one thing that I realized is that it's not so comfortable for me to get straight up from this position. So I've been working on just coming up and going down and trying to keep it really nice and smooth. So let's just try that 5 times on each side. So up and then down. And try to keep it nice and smooth. All right. And when you're done, just sit with your legs crossed in front of you. And we're just gonna lean forward just to stretch out a little bit. However far forward you get, doesn't matter. If you want a bit of a deeper stretch, you can really reach your arms out in front of you. Slowly come back up and just switch sides. So I guess the opposite leg is on top. Slowly make your way back up. Stick your legs out in front of you. Just reach forward. You can kind of play with this one however you like. You get the stretch that feels best for you.
everybody. I'm back up to sitting and I'll unmute you guys.
You come in? Okay.
Baby and parents included. So, how was it, guys?
Good, Sean.
Yeah, excellent.
Thanks. I'm actually super exhausted today, which you can probably tell by the way I'm speaking. I've been doing about 9 hours of yard work. Well, I guess today and yesterday. So I'm totally wiped. But it was nice to be able to force myself to do some exercise and movement, because my back has been bugging me and my shoulders. So it's been nice just to get things moving again. So thanks for that opportunity, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. All right, well, have a good night, and I'll see you guys next week.
Okay. Stay well.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.